Well, when Wall Street had its problems early in the 20th century, Mr. J.P. Morgan himself
Yep.
used to go out and say, I'm going to bail out certain companies, and you were called the J.P. Morgan of crypto.
Yep.
Did that bother you, or did not?
It doesn't bother me too much.
Many months later.
We're headlining this block with Bitcoin, which has just dropped below $17,000 per coin. There is news going on here. This is the story of the day, especially if you're in crypto. FTX, the big exchange, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, has resigned.
The FTX scandal has everything to do with guns. Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. Let's talk about this. This story is obviously breaking, and we're learning more and more and more as we go. And when I heard the story, I had to talk on it because it is a direct connection to civil rights, constitutional rights, and freedom in general. I'm going to explain why as I go. FTX, as you know, is owned by Bankman-Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried. And as you saw in the opening there, they were praising this guy to high heavens. And then all of a sudden, on the day of the midterms, his entire crypto collapses to the tune of billions of dollars. Now, it's not so much that aspect that I'm looking at. It's what he was doing with the money and where that money was coming from. Go over to here, and this guy does a phenomenal job, and it's only 99 seconds long, but he does a phenomenal job of explaining what happens, and I want to get context. So let's go ahead and watch that.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried. People call him SBF. He's the founder of FTX. He also controlled a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, but that's all gone now. He wants you to think he's this sweet guy. He even brought in a famous YouTuber who called him the most generous man in the world. Yep, that happened. Truth is, Sam Bankman-Fried is a liar and a crook. His personal crypto FTX token was basically a Ponzi scheme hidden below layers of Moonbro jargon. He even went on Bloomberg's podcast and bragged about it. Yep, that happened. He used his Ponzi token as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars that he couldn't pay back. He then used those real dollars to build an empire out of dying companies like Voyager and BlockFi. This led Jim Cramer to call him the new J.P. Morgan. That's weird. It's not like Jim Cramer to promote a billionaire con artist. SBF sold people cryptos like Bitcoin, or so they thought. What they really bought from SBF was an IOU. But as long as everyone didn't cash in their IOU at the same time, the scheme worked. Until it didn't. This other a-hole who hates SBF came along and engineered a bank run with some passive-aggressive tweets. It worked. SBF didn't have enough money to repay everyone at once, and now his customers have lost everything. He'll be happy to know that this is exactly how every bank in the world operates. So where did all the money go? He misappropriated $4 billion trying to save his failing hedge fund. Whoops, that's a felony. He spent $21 million on Super Bowl commercials, $5 million for the big guy, $40 million in campaign donations. I wonder what he wanted in return. And everyone who's pointing at this story and saying, this is exactly why we need to regulate crypto. Remember that SBF stole billions. That's already a crime. And he spent a lot of it on bribing politicians. Also a crime, in order to create a crypto monopoly for himself. Government regulations don't protect the customers. They protect the crooks. That's exactly what SBF was trying to do.
Heard that, you saw that. Now, here's some details. FTX was started within days of Joe Biden announcing that he was going to run for president. That's when FTX actually started. And the mother of Sam Friedman is also a massive Democrat donor, which is very interesting in that connection. But what has happened, and here's the connection I'm trying to make for you, is Bankman-Fried, as you heard, was the second largest donor to Democrats, other than George Soros. I look at those two as the exact same kind of person, but George Soros donated $123 million, and Bankman-Fried donated somewhere from $38 to $40 million. He was a big cash cow for the Democrats. Now, what that becomes a problem is that with all that money being thrown at Democrats, that I feel has been a direct cause of the red wave over the midterms we just had being stifled. But where is he getting the money from? Let's go over to here. Ukraine partnered with FTX to launch a new crypto donation site. I hope some of you are starting, the light bulbs are coming on. Yes. FTX was helping Ukraine funnel their cryptocurrency that were, the donations that were made in crypto. FTX did not do this for nothing. So here's where all the money was coming from. Allegedly. Coming from for then Bankman-Fried to turn around and give it to Democrats. So now the speculation is out there that dollars, taxpayer dollars that went to Ukraine, some of it's making its way back to the Democrats through FTX, allegedly. Thank you.
The major cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, which is run by Sam Bankman-Fried, has collapsed and declared bankruptcy. Now, what actually happened is pretty complicated, but here's what we know for sure. Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the top donors of the Democratic Party this year. In fact, he was the second largest donor to Democrats, second only to George Soros. Now, there's a lot of speculation right now about the connections between FTX and Ukraine. It turns out that FTX set up a website for users to send cash to Ukraine's central bank. That's led to speculation that the U.S. government might have sent taxpayer money to Ukraine, which then ended up at FTX and ultimately to Democrats.
Was really in the bosom of the left, and as you see, he was indulging in all sorts of woke causes, including Ukraine. And why on earth, the American taxpayer is funneling tens of billions of dollars over to Ukraine so that they can fight Russia? And why on earth they would be involved, the Ukrainian government, with this now collapsed cryptocurrency exchange, we need to know. I'm sure that when
How does that affect us? Well, it obviously, in my opinion, stifled the red wave. Other than a few other shenanigans in the background, such as what's happening in Maricopa County in Arizona, and also Mitch McConnell pulling funding for certain senators who weren't too big on him being, leader of the Republican Senate. Beyond that, there's an obvious, it's clear to me, in my opinion, that there is something going on here with this Ukrainian money going and how it went to the Democrats in the midterms. And it's very, very dangerous. How does it apply to us? Because whoever has a majority makes legislation. And that legislation, and the Democrats are hell-bent on stifling the Second Amendment and individual rights. There's the connection. Now, as you know, literally, as I said, the day of the midterms, this whole thing collapsed. The whole $16 billion, and nobody knows where that money is. And seeing that he was a big Democrat donor, more than likely nothing will happen, which is a damn shame. But this story definitely has a connection to us as freedom, people who love freedom. This is a direct connection. This guy was heavily funding the Democrats with promises of funding him even more money down the road. So, like I said, I believe that this here, with other things, was a reason why the red wave that was expected, that everybody speculated would happen, didn't happen. Because this guy has been putting an awful lot of money into the Democrat coffers. And from the looks of things, allegedly, it's our money that was supposed to go to something else. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.